is the land of the free, the great old Americas, using the Philippines as a tool. As a matter of fact, one expert suggests that they are. United States intelligence and foreign policy experts said the land of the free was just using the Philippines to create the conditions of potential conflict with the Chinas, even if it knew it could not fight and engage China and win. The great land of the free is using the Philippines. You are a two, nothing but a two. And when a two has been used much, it becomes useless. We will discard you, says one of the experts. And you're gonna learn his name in today's video during an online media briefing early Thursday morning, Manila time, at the U.S. National Press Club in Washington. Now, why did he say these words exactly? You're about to find out in today's video. And if you came across similar discussions on social media, this is that video that sparked those conversations. Now, subscribe, smash that like button, and let us begin with today's video.
Fall of the Marcos regime, there was concern about the new People's Army, so I have a warm spot in my heart for the Philippines. Let's build upon what Colonel Wilkerson had said earlier. The United States is incapable of fighting a sustained conflict against a peer-level force. The United States cannot fight and engage China and win. We will not beat the Chinese. We cannot beat the Chinese, and we know this, and yet we're using the Philippines to create the conditions of potential conflict with the Chinese. Please understand that for the Filipino people, this is a recipe for disaster. You think America is your friend. So too did the Ukrainian people, and they are down by the hundreds of thousands. Friends don't let friends die in those quantities. The Ukrainians have been displaced by the tens of millions. Friends don't let friends have their cities destroyed in this manner. Friends don't let friends have families separated, have mothers and children destined to a life of refugee status and perpetual poverty. That's not how friends behave. America has never been the friend of the Ukrainians, and we are not the friends of the Filipinos. We don't like you. If we did like you, we wouldn't be doing this to you. We are using you. You are a tool, nothing but a tool. And when the tool ceases to be useful, we will discard you. And discard you means usually after a war that devastates you. We are using you to gain some sort of momentary leverage over the Chinese. We will fail. The Chinese will win, and you will be destroyed. End of story. It's high time the Filipino people pressure their government to start sitting down and engaging the Chinese government responsibly. China is not your enemy. China is your neighbor. China is your friend. China doesn't want war. And if you would engage China in diplomacy, and as we've all indicated here, America has long since lost the skill set necessary to carry out diplomacy, but the Filipinos, the Philippine people can reignite this, to relearn it, to use this skill to prevent a war. But if you continue to behave as colonial subjects, and I know that's a sore subject in the Philippines, because you were the colonial subjects of America. We still view you as our colonial subjects. We don't like you, we don't care about you, we just want to use you. Grow up. Grow up and act responsibly. Take control of your own future. America is not here to help you. America is here only to use you until there's nothing left, and then we will discard you on the trash heap of history.
I must tell you, I spent a lot of time in the Philippines and came in off the carrier Iwo Jima, the Valley Forge, the Guadalcanal, and both, Scott would agree with me. Americans have a tremendous love for the Filipino people. I would say two of my very, very closest friends are from the Philippines. And we really wish very much that you were not in this posture. But I think it's very important for the Philippines to be clear-eyed in what's going on and not to be led down the path by bellicose military people from the United States. You're talking about small islands. I wish China were not engaged in that particular policy. I tend to be sympathetic towards them on many things, but less so on that one. But at the same time, I think you've got to make sort of a cold, clear-eyed assessment and say, look, it's not worth a war with a great power for the Philippines to engage in combat over those small islands. But I do agree that it is time to use diplomacy and to attempt to resolve the issue. Whatever you do, do not simply become a tool of the United States and be led into an armed conflict that ends up in disaster for the Filipino people. Because if you do, you will break the heart of a whole lot of us who just dearly love the Philippines and the people of the islands.
So that's what's up, and this is exactly what happened in another video where I believe it was a Senate from the land of the free that was exposing the things that happen in African countries and how those coups are orchestrated by the land of the free, right? They're organized and they're ordered by them, but implemented in countries overseas, in African countries, and in those countries that they just want to see tension. Like, I don't get why this country is so much driven to see tension, but let's go back and see where exactly the relationship began with the Philippines and what the relationship is between these two. So the land of the free and the Philippines have a strong relationship characterized by a bilateral security alliance, military cooperation, and shared strategic and economic interests. In 2024, they are co-hosting the Indo-Pacific Business Forum in Manila, which emphasizes the Philippines as a key hub for regional supply chains and investment. So there's that aspect to look at. We're looking at regional supply chains and investment. So there's a lot of business opportunities, a lot of money to be made here. The Philippines is also closely monitoring the 2024 presidential race for the land of the free, seeing any change in leadership as an opportunity to renew their strengthening alliance. Additionally, projects like the National Fiber Backbone are set to enhance digital connectivity between the two nations. But of course, there is something more attached to this relationship, as this expert suggested. And in a few moments, we're going to take a look at his expertise and the reason why he said this. Now, why are the tensions increasing between the land of the free and the great Asian country that has been mentioned in this video? Trade policies. So the land of the free companies have expressed concerns over inconsistent policies, rising labor costs, and data security issues in Asia in this specific country. So we're talking about banning TikTok and all these other platforms, including businesses that do come from Asia, right? Because of maybe fear and in terms of technological competition, the land of the free has imposed export controls on advanced chips and sanctions on Chinese companies like Huawei, which Beijing once lifted. So there are these sanctions, right, that have been imposed on advanced chips. So it's basically a fear for the technological advancement of this great Asian country that the land of the free has. Now imagine this great expert in the field of military, this man that we saw in this video, saying that the land of the free may not win in case of a conflict. So imagine how technologically advanced this country must be from Asia. The other thing is geopolitical risks. Both nations are navigating a strategic shift towards building economies more resistant to geopolitical risks. So we're talking about advancing influence all over the globe, including in African countries. So there's that competition. At one point, China used to be seen as not a superpower, but now it's a competitor. So you can just imagine how majorly advanced it has become. And talking about its technological advancement, which brings me to its advancement in pew-pew. This country from Asia plans to unveil new advanced pew-pews in 2024, showcasing modern and potent military capabilities with cutting-edge technologies. We're talking about robots that have got pew-pews on top of them. We're talking about robots that can fly and kaboom in front of you, if you know what I'm talking about. We're talking about things that are advanced that the land of the free cannot comprehend. And the other thing is emerging technologies reports. Now, hear this, it's reports, right, indicate that this great Asian country is focusing on artificial intelligence, led autonomous pew-pews, hypersonic pew-pews, directed energy pew-pews, biotechnology, and quantum technology. So you don't need to be a physicist or anything to know that there is something going on here that is pretty high level that the land of the free doesn't want to see happening. Then we're talking about combat aircraft, around 200 J-20s, China's stealth fighter jets have been produced as of early 2024. So you can see the date here. Everything is happening in 2024. That is the reason why you're seeing these tensions and why this man is saying that the land of the free ain't going to win in case of a conflict. And in closing, let me tell you who this man is exactly in case you don't know him. The first man, the first speaker, his name is Scott Ritter. He is a former U.S. Marine Corps intelligence officer and UN pew-pew expert. So he knows exactly what he's talking about. He has been involved in various discussions and interviews related to military and geopolitical topics, including the situation in Ukraine, U.S. foreign policy, and military affairs. Rita has shared his views on issues such as Iran's big bullet programs, the possibility of a conflict with China, and the US-Mexico border situation. He is known for his critical stance on certain US policies and has recently been barred from attending an event in Russia due to his criticisms. And this is one thing that I found intriguing, right? So they even prevented him from attending a meeting in Russia because they fear that this person might be a double agent of something, if you know what I mean. But you leave your thoughts in the comment section and tell me what you think about today's discussion. I will see you in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.